I know that there are at least 2 or 3 deleted scenes that will be included.
In the multiverse, anything is possible. The ending of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness that we saw isn't the only one that exists. Let's check out just how different all the multiverse possibilities were. Oh, and before you watch any further, this is your warning. There are spoilers ahead.
You always suspected this day would come. I'm ready.
Number 1. To be fair, Doctor Strange did have a pretty significant impact on Spider-Man's last movie. You know, with the whole spell and all that. One of the biggest ways that this film changed was due to the impact of it coming after No Way Home, instead of before as it was originally slated to. It wasn't until No Way Home was actually completely finalized that the second Doctor Strange film could really be nailed down. This reorder in the Phase 4 of the MCU had a major impact, but it was for the best considering how great both films turned out to be in the end. Number 2. Let's just say, everyone was on their toes for pretty much the whole production.
You okay?
The team behind Multiverse of Madness actually completed half of their filming days before an ending had even been established. These actors have learned to have faith in the creative team, who managed to make this chaotic world and story make sense to the audiences. When that ending was shared, it was best that no one got their hopes up, since the conclusion of the film did change a few more times after that. They did do extensive reshoots after all, but more on that soon. Number 3. Can you say bonus features? Our fingers are crossed that we'll get a solid chunk of deleted footage when the Doctor Strange 2 special features are released, especially since we got way less than expected for No Way Home. What's particularly exciting about the deleted footage we know of is that it comprised almost a full third of what the final film was supposed to be. Sam Raimi's first cut came in around 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It was probably like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it slowly came down, even though we did the reshoots.
We were just this close to seeing another 30 minutes worth of all this brilliant madness. Raimi has teased that there's one in particular he's really hoping gets released, so fingers crossed.
This is the only way.
Number 4. It would have been an intense start, that's for sure. This movie was supposed to begin on a very upsetting note. There was actually a version that saw Mordo going after Wanda with a magical bow, and he was there to take her down. Despite his attempts though, Wanda came out victorious like the boss she is. In the end, the team went in a different direction, and there are a few reasons they could have done this. But one of the more obvious ones is that this might have been a bit too similar in vibe to what happened in the first Doctor Strange. Remember that?
Why are you doing this? Because I see at long last what's wrong with the world. Too many sorcerers.
Plus, with the secret of the role the Scarlet Witch plays in this one being kept that much longer, it really does up the stakes. Number 5. Multiverses makes for multi-characters, and it could get hectic. Rachel McAdams got more screen time in this film than she did her first time around, and part of that was because we got to see 2 great versions of Christine Palmer. However, what we didn't get to see was the third version of the character that was written into the script once upon a time. Now that the multiverse has been cracked wide open though, maybe we'll meet another Palmer in the MCU future. We wouldn't hate it. Number 6. When reshoots came along, so did multiple extra characters.
The Illuminati will see you, Stephen.
Spider-Man No Way Home might just have one of the most stacked cameo lists out there. And since it was such a success, the Multiverse of Madness production team decided to follow in their footsteps, and they wrote in as many cool and unexpected cameos as they could. And are we ever glad they did? That being said, they did always make sure it was what was best for the story and would best serve the fans. Anything is possible in the multiverse, so why not take advantage of that fact? The OG scripts didn't include Mr. Fantastic or Black Bolt. Baldur the Brave was also a possibility, but ultimately didn't make the final cut.
We took out material, even though the reshoots went in.
Number 7. Where did the lines go? We have to admit, we were pretty disappointed to not get a few moments featured in the promo footage, especially Wanda's devilish line.
This is going to be fun.
Lizzie Olsen did get a version of a line we anticipated coming from Strange, though.
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then, the nightmare begins.
And we can't forget this beat, featuring Wong hanging out with a nosy cape. But to be fair, that shot was never meant for this film, since it actually came from a promo for a laundry detergent.
The stakes are real. He's literally coming up against versions of himself.
Number 8. It's Strange like we have never seen him before. Trailer footage and promo material gave us this line from Sinister Strange.
Things just got out of hand.
But the movie? It gave us nada. This moment could have been an alternate version of a scene, or potentially an extended cut. While it is a pretty stellar moment, short as it is, ultimately it wasn't missed in the movie. But we are glad it was used in the promo footage, cause it's fire. Number 9. We love a throwback. Fans of the animated X-Men show from the 90s should be familiar with Professor X and his hover chair. There was an even longer battle planned for the plot than what we got to see, at least from what's seen in the pre-visuals. Can anyone say bonus features? A battle this good only comes along so often. Number 10. We've got some questions. So, before the final cut was established, there was a world where we did get the Kamartaj battle, except it happened quite a bit later in the movie. That big of a battle so early on might have been intense and wound up fitting where it does well. Another moment that leaves us a bit puzzled is when Wanda seems to be facing her end after destroying the Darkhold Castle, but there was a chance that we were going to see her beneath the rubble afterwards. Without it, it does feel like that was the end of the Scarlet Witch, but Wanda could still have a chance. And if not this Wanda, then maybe a variant at some point in the future? Number 11. This was one of the earliest bumps in the road for this production. Once upon a time, when Scott Derrickson was directing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the movie had some very different vibes. The director had a vision for the story and how it should come to the screen, but ultimately, it wasn't in line with what the Marvel team wanted. And Derrickson wasn't gonna budge. Marvel did end up making some requests for changes to Sam Raimi's version, but it was always only ever for the sake of the MCU and continuity in the multiverse.
No, this is what happened in the last Avengers movie, and this is contrary to that. We have to be on the same page.
Number 12. We've got to talk about this. What about that crow? This one, we got images of this random crow in promo material, but when the movie came along, nothing. Who is it? What's its purpose? If anyone has theories about this crow, hit us up in the comments. Now that is quite the roller coaster. It was far from easy to work through the constant changes, but this team is used to it by now and made the best of what they had. Which alternate or deleted scene would you like to see? And if anyone knows what's up with that crow, hook us up.